Did you know that we have channel memberships now? If you'd like to help support this channel, get some exclusive Kewpie emotes to use in the comments, as well as an exclusive badge by your name, click that join button now to find out more. Every bit of support really helps. Thanks, guys. The famous Kewpie mansion. Not really a mansion, but rather a small temple located around 600 meters south of Saijo Inari-san Myokyoji Temple, considered by many to be one of the 3 largest Inari shrines in all of Japan. The group of friends enjoyed visiting haunted locations, so how could you give the Kewpie mansion a pass if in the area? She went with 2 friends, one of whom had a strong sixth sense. Usually this never affected their outings, however, so they didn't think much of it. This night would go like every other night did. They'd have a look around, have a bit of fun, joke about ghosts they did or didn't see. They never really did. And then go home with a few fun new memories, and that was that. Yet, when they were only 200 meters away from the small temple, her friend suddenly stopped. "No way. It's too dangerous. Stop. We can't go in," she screamed. She had never acted like this before, so they were confused. Was this all part of an act to hype the place up? But she genuinely looked afraid, and she'd never lied about anything like this before. Nervously, they entered the abandoned temple, coaxing their scared friend in. They had come all this way after all. Might as well give it a quick look around before leaving. And just like its name, they saw numerous Kewpie dolls hanging here and there, lying on the ground and just generally all over the place. Setting aside the supernatural, it was honestly a horrifying sight they'd never forget. Nobody was quite sure what the temple was for exactly, but judging by all the dolls, there were theories that it was for newborn babies, miscarriages, and children who were born stillborn. Do you feel it too? What? The eyes. Yeah. It seemed all 3 of them sensed the same thing, almost like the dolls were looking at them. It was commonly said that within the body of each doll resided a soul. Could it be true? Could it be the spirits of children who passed before their time? She didn't personally believe in spirits, and yet this place really did creep her out. The 3 friends returned home in silence. Something about that place was weird, creepy, unnatural. Upon returning, her psychic friend immediately attended a purification ritual, while her other friend broke out in a high fever. And while she herself didn't fall ill, she couldn't help but feel eyes on her when she was home alone in her room. And even more strangely, each night when she dreamt of children laughing. The Kewpie Mansion. It's a rather odd name for a rather odd building that, to this day, nobody is quite exactly sure of. What is, or was, the Kewpie Mansion? Few official details remain, but there is enough to fathom a rather accurate guess. What we do know is that the building was constructed in the early 1970s as a religious building, and it appears to have been quite popular. A dedication plaque listing the names of donors to the building can be found from the mid-1970s, and it features quite the extensive list of names. And, as far as we can tell, the building has always been full of Kewpie and other baby dolls, which was how it got its name. This has led some to believe that people left offerings of dolls here to pray for children who died before, during, or shortly after birth. But others believe that the building had a similar but happier purpose. It was actually dedicated to the safe delivery and growth of newborn babies. With no records of what the building actually did, it's hard to know for sure, but almost everyone agrees that, thanks to the dolls, it at least had something to do with children. And, interestingly, some of these dolls were quite old, with dates going back to the Taisho era, 1912 to 1926, found on them. In fact, most dolls in the building had a date and a name on them, furthering the belief they were, in one way or another, an offering for children. And due to the building's location, a short distance away from Saijo Inarisa Myokyoji Temple, it's believed the Kewpie mansion was actually once part of these same shrine grounds. But due to a landslide at some point in the 1980s or perhaps even 90s, it was cut off and eventually abandoned. Again, nobody is quite sure. There exists almost no information about this building that can be confirmed one way or the other. Everything is conjecture and theories based on what remains. There was talk of it being no longer in use by the late 1990s, and in the early 2000s, it was already known on the internet as an abandoned building. As of recent years, while the building itself still exists, it seems that the local government finally got around to clearing out all the old dolls, and if you visit the site today, you'll find nothing but what remains of the dilapidated building. You can, however, find numerous videos and blog reports from Haikyo hunters who visited the site over the last few decades, if you really want to get an idea of how creepy it looked with all the dolls still there. Interestingly, for an abandoned building with such a creepy image, the Kewpie mansion isn't actually known for any hauntings. There are no stories of particular spirits said to linger in the area. There's no mother with long hair lurking in the forest. There are no children running around in the dark corners. Nothing. Just the creepy dolls that have now been disposed of. It's those dolls, and those dolls alone, that made the site famous. You can, of course, find claims on the internet from people who visited the site that they heard children's laughter or crying in the distance, or even that the dolls moved when they weren't being looked at. But unlike most ghost spots around the country, this spot distinctly lacks in ghosts. It doesn't really need them. The dolls already do all the hard lifting. But what do you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.